there's like a biological reason why we would crave those sugar, sweet, fatty things, because when we were like wandering the plains, right? If you came across some food that was super sugary, super fatty, super good for packing on the nutrients, then your body wanted to gorge on it because it knew that it wasn't going to be available for long. Now our brains know that's available right around the corner. But do our bodies know that as much?
Some of the issues with sugar cravings and things like that is also the fact that our brain runs on glucose. So, because we have gotten so used to it being available, our brain is almost running entirely on glucose. So instead of burning fat, it's storing fat and just running entirely on sugar. Yeah, that wasn't always a thing. That's part of why people are so big nowadays, because now there's sugar in fucking everything, so there's no reason to burn fat, for the body to burn fat when it's got sugar to burn. Which is why people, when they cut out sugar, will start to lose weight, because the body stops running on that sugar and starts running on the stored fat.
I'm like having this realization that maybe it was simply like cutting out the sugars, like, because I stopped drinking soda and doing a lot of other stuff that was like, like snack cakes and a bunch of other stuff, like all at the same time. And then later, not much longer after, but longer after than I would have thought that had anything to do with it, is when I like lost like fucking over 20 pounds. Like,
oh, I'm sure, because your body starts to burn the fat versus the sugar, which is how people, when they are diabetic or they go on keto, they end up losing a shit ton of weight, because their body goes into fat burning mode. But it can cause a problem. There is a there needs to be a balance.
I was just having a realization.
Oh, no,
I was afraid of the big CANCER word when that happens,
But there's
when I lost all that weight, because like usually when you're watching medical shows and they're like, oh, you lost 20 pounds in 6 weeks, you have the C word that I won't say out loud.
That's where, and this is very interesting to me because I've read so many books on it, because my husband and I looked into the diabetic diet and keto because my husband has health issues. The problem is when you lose all the fat, your body, if you're not eating properly, will start eating your muscles and your organs. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, and there's different ways that your body metabolizes things. So when you're not eating properly, it can do that instead of eating on the fat. Even when you have fat available, it's like it wants to keep those fat stores. So it's like, well, we can feed on your liver just a little bit. I'm actually terrified.
No, it's literally called starvation mode.
Yeah, no,
when
that is
when
why
your body
I
eats
like
fat
keep
versus
V8s
sugar.
on hand. Like I keep very easy foods on hand so that like I don't let my body eat itself. Also, I run on kinetic energy, guys.
You have to have some sort of carb.
It's not a scientific thing. It's an in my head thing, for the record.
Oh, really?
The running on kinetic energy.
Oh.
Well, you have kinetic energy, it feeds itself, right? The more the energy happens, the more it feeds itself. So then it's just like, it just
goes on and on.
Yeah,
so
and because of like my highs and lows, like sometimes I can go for like 42 hours before I get tired.
If you eat a meal of scrambled, not a meal, let's say all day, this is what you have. Eggs, maybe some spinach, mushrooms, cottage cheese. Maybe you have a salad. That's 0 carbs, 0 sugar. Your body is going to...
That wasn't me, guys. That was timing. I swear, I went...
No, I swallowed wrong. Is that an unhealthy dinner, day? Not necessarily, but you don't have the balanced carbs, which means your body is going to burn fat. You're going to continue to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? It's a very healthy, it's a healthy day, but you've got to find that balance.
Right. Well, and it's just like the reason you can't eat just rabbit meat, for example. They don't have a variegated enough diet that they have all the right nutrients for us, right? So, like, if you're stuck in the woods, right, and you, like, try to make your entire food source be rabbits, you're going to start lacking in things.
Because they only eat so much.
Right, exactly. So, like, from that same standpoint, like, yeah, eggs and cottage cheese and these different vegetables, that's healthy. But if that's all you're eating, you're not getting enough nutrients out of it because you're missing certain significant
unless your goal is to lose weight. Unless your goal is to lose weight, but
even still, that wouldn't be that healthy because I mean, like, where's your beta carotene coming from? Right.
It's an argument because people still seem to think losing weight equals health, and it doesn't.
Mm-mm.
It really doesn't.
No, it doesn't. Like, when I lost all that weight, and we had we had a couple of mutual friends that, like, they constantly commented on how skinny I was and how lucky I was to be that skinny, and it's like, I drastically, like, dropped 20, 30 pounds out of fucking nowhere. Like, it's actually concerning, and it doesn't feel good because my body wasn't at that comfort level, right? And, like, I think a huge part of it had to do with being, having, like, certain dietary issues that I thought were different dietary issues, you know? But, like, if you can eat healthy, but if you're not absorbing those nutrients, then, like, it's not healthy.
Well, it's just like, for example, you see these people and they're really into, like, I gotta switch a little bit.
No,
but,
I
like,
had to move my
there are people who are literally taking bites of butter and they're not gaining weight. That's because they're not eating a balanced meal of, you know what I mean?
Because,
so,
like,
you can add,
you need certain things to absorb those fats.
Exactly.
You just like you need the pepper to absorb the turmeric.
Yes, the turmeric. So, like, you can have, when you cut out sugar and carbs, you can eat as much steak as you want. You can eat as much cottage cheese as you want, and you're not going to gain weight. But you're also not going to properly get your proper nutrients. You know what I'm saying?
Your bowels are not going to be terribly healthy. Like, that's not a healthy bowel diet.
No,
like,
my mom, no, it's very much, it's not.
This isn't an episode about poop, but I'm just saying you won't poop right. You're not going to poop right. And please don't tell us in the comments if that's how you eat and you poop right. We don't know. We don't want to know much poops. We don't want to know.
I think... So, I also follow this lady, and she does carnivore. I can't imagine doing carnivore. Carnivore is just meat and dairy. And eggs, of course. Eggs are not dairy. It's very interesting to learn and hear what she has to say because she has a lot of very interesting facts and knowledge, like the diet thing that we're discussing.
Well, because, like, okay, to be fair to the carnivore diet, because of the fact that if you're eating a wide variety of meats, those meats, when they were alive, ate a wide variety of other things. So from these meat for humans, meat is one of the best ways to get certain things like vitamin B12 and other vitamins that have already been processed through an animal that has eaten the grass or the whatever that gave them a surplus in their tissues of that vitamin. And because, like, we can eat a steak and get a better source of folate and vitamin B12 and what the fuck else ever out of that steak than we can out of a serving of vegetables that has the same amount of those vitamins. Our bodies can't absorb it out of the vegetables as easily as they can out of the meat. And so that could be a reason people do the carnivore diet.
Well, and
I'm not hating either way. I miss a steak. My mouth is watering at the thought of that.
Dude, there is a carnivore, like, it's not even a recipe. It's a carnivore meal, and I see it everywhere. It is, my mouth is watering too because my husband's making steak tonight. It's steak.
Lucky bitch.
Steak.
I guess I'm
avocado.
Mushroom steaks tonight.
it's steak, avocado, or guac, and then it's fried eggs. And it's like you dip the steak in the yolky fried egg. That sounds good as shit.
No, I love steak and eggs.
Like, I know that sounds
I used to make that for dinner for
and then you dip it with like some avocado.
Or we'd have steak and eggs.
God,
I love that shit.
So I can't even be hating on the carnivore diet that much when they be eating that delicious. I mean, granted, I cannot imagine eating it 24/7 all day, every day.
Yeah, see, I like vegetables. I just like them. They're probably my favorite things to eat are vegetables.
Me too.
Like when I say what's my favorite snack food, I even back when I could eat meat, it never had anything to do with meat. It was either chips and salsa, which is tomatoes, onions, and corn, or popcorn, which is corn. You know what I mean? Like,
I made homemade popcorn on the stove. I did tell you that. Kids loved it. I loved it.
Okay, so now when you have the money and you want to do a special treat, look online, get you some gourmet colored kernel popcorn, and then make that, and you can get like blue and pink and purple popcorn. And some of it is like, you don't have to get dyed popcorn. Like, some of them are naturally blue kernels, so they have a blue hue.
Okay, yeah.
My uncle, when he found out we were making our own popcorn on the stovetop, like, this was a long time ago because it was long before he died. But he got us a big old bag of blue kernel.
Nice.
Popcorn.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it was natural. It wasn't like dyed.
Well, that's another thing we can do when we do our little mocktails.
Ooh,
make some popcorn on the stove.
Yes!
I know. I'm like,
I mean, I have some in there. Corey likes Jiffy Pop, so he's got Jiffy Pop, but we also have a bag. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be
I don't
so
think
much
we don't
fun.
have the blue corn anymore, but I would definitely get like, I'd find some like blue and pink.
Hell yeah, that would be so
like
much
non-dyed, but like natural colors.
So I guess this episode kind of went from mantras to nutrition.
Health, yeah.
I would say health and nutrition.
Yeah. But at the same time, like, okay, so mantras, yes, are words, but from the same aspect of what you were talking about, that's still the same energy, right?
I would think
because, like, if the idea, right, because the idea of starting your day off with mantras for betterment of your life or yourself, right? I'm good enough, or I'm going to eat healthy today, or I'm going to exercise for this amount of time and we're going to feel great afterwards. Whatever that mantra is, right? Whatever it is you're going to be saying to yourself. That meal, if you're looking at it in the exact same way of, this is setting the pace for the rest of my day. This is setting this is where we're starting the day, and we're only going to go forward and upward from here in a better motion. I see that as, it's the same thing as a mantra. It's just not spoken. You know what I mean?
I agree completely. Yeah. Mantras and affirmations, I think this is a good way to mantras and affirmations are all about speaking things into existence, willing things into existence. So if you make a healthy choice, that's going to butterfly effect will,
right, because it's going to affirm better choices. Yes. It's still an affirmation, just not a spoken affirmation.
Yes, exactly.
And these are ways that are easy for us to build upon that which we did before, to baby step, just get a little bit better and a little bit better in whatever our goals are in life, you know? Exactly. Because affirmations doesn't mean a specific thing is being affirmed. It just means you're affirming for yourself and out loud to the universe that which you want or expect or are going to have. Exactly. So you guys should start if you haven't done mantras, if you haven't done affirmations, you should consider starting it. It's such a healthy way to start the day, really, but it's also a healthy day to cope with things like panic attacks and anxiety, like we discussed. It's a very positive thing to incorporate. Yes, and if you haven't checked out Stuart Smalley or It's Pat, I don't know how well these things aged because it's been a very long time since I've watched them. So do not feel free. Like, just don't feel the need. Don't. I don't know how well they've aged. They probably did not hold too well with the times. They started out on SNL. That's all I can say. Like, SNL from the 80s, 90s, guys. That's all I got. That's all I got. So don't judge me. I loved it when I was a kid. I still love the positive things that those brought to me, like Dave Foley in a Dress and Stuart Smalley with his affirmations. If you're watching on YouTube, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can find us on Threads, Facebook, and Instagram at Witches Talking Tarot. You can find us on the X at Classiest Witches because we are the classiest witches you know. And a big shout out and thank you to Death by DVD. Victoria. They are our patrons. Oh. Is it Veronica? No, you said for Victoria. Victoria, right? Yes, I did say Victoria. Yeah, I was like, usually I say the Patreon thing first. No. There are patrons on patreon.com/Witches Talking Tarot, and you can become our patron by going there as well. Thanks for sitting with us for a spell. Bye.